This morning, before you even got to work, you probably ate sugar for breakfast. And I don't mean a donut. I mean something you bought because it said natural on the label. Something with a picture of fruit on it. Something you felt good about eating. And the company that made it, they've known for decades that it was loaded. They just made sure you'd never figure it out. I'm going to show you 9 foods today, foods that are marketed as healthy, foods that nutritionists recommend, foods you probably have in your kitchen right now, and I'm going to show you exactly how much sugar is hiding inside them, what it's doing to your body, and how to spot it on any label in under 10 seconds. Number 6 on this list is the one that surprises people the most. I've shown this to people in their 50s who have been eating it every single day for years, thinking it was good for them. Stay with me. But first, let me show you something that will change how you read every single food label for the rest of your life. Here's a number that's going to stick with you. 57 pounds. That's how much added sugar the average American consumes every single year, according to the American Heart Association. Not 57 pounds of cake, 57 pounds of sugar hidden inside foods you think are healthy. The American Heart Association recommends no more than 6 teaspoons of added sugar per day for women and 9 teaspoons for men. Most people are eating 3 times that, and they have no idea. Now here's where it gets interesting, and frankly where it gets a little infuriating. Since 2021, food companies have been legally required to list added sugars separately on the nutrition label. That was supposed to help us, but here's what actually happened. The big food companies didn't reduce the sugar, they just renamed it. They swapped out refined sugar and high fructose corn syrup, names people had learned to avoid, and replaced them with monk fruit extract, erythritol, agave nectar, fruit juice concentrate, things that sound natural, things that don't appear under added sugars on the label. A neuroscience professor at Mount Sinai Medical School named Nicole Avena, who has spent her career studying sugar addiction, put it bluntly. She said, "Our foods are now even sweeter than they were in 2020, while looking cleaner on the label than ever before." And before we get into the 9 foods, I'm going to give you the 5 most common sugar disguises being used on labels right now at the end of this video. Write them down because these are the names food companies are leaning on hardest right now. And it matters more than you think, because this isn't just about weight gain. Chronic excess sugar causes insulin resistance, where your cells stop responding to insulin properly. That's the direct pathway to type 2 diabetes. It causes inflammation in your arteries, raises your triglycerides, damages collagen in your skin, and research from a 3-year study showed it significantly increases the risk of depression in adults aged 35 to 55. So let's go through the 9 foods. I'll tell you how much sugar is actually in each one, why the food companies made it that way, and what to eat instead. Food number 1. Flavored Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt has been positioned as one of the healthiest foods you can eat. High protein, gut-friendly bacteria, low fat. And plain Greek yogurt absolutely is. But the moment it gets a fruit flavor added to it, everything changes. A single small container of fruit-flavored Greek yogurt can contain up to 17 grams of sugar. That's over 4 teaspoons in one small tub. What's worse, the fruit in most of these yogurts isn't fruit, it's fruit syrup, essentially jam. And the low-fat versions are the worst offenders because when manufacturers remove fat, the food tastes bland, so they add sugar to compensate. Low-fat almost always means high sugar. The swap is simple. Buy plain Greek yogurt, 0 added sugar, and add your own fresh berries. You get the protein, the probiotics, and real fruit, not syrup. Food number 2, all-natural granola. Granola is one of the most brilliantly marketed foods in the history of the supermarket. It has whole grain oats, it has nuts, it has dried fruit. The bag usually has a mountain on it, or a sun, or a bearded man who looks like he just came back from a hike. It screams wholesome. But look at the label. A quarter cup, which is a tiny amount, not what anyone actually pours into a bowl, can contain 12 grams of added sugar. And the dried fruit that's making it seem healthy? A quarter cup of dried cranberries alone can have 29 grams of sugar. The water has been removed, leaving concentrated fructose behind with none of the fiber that would slow its absorption. Look for granola with less than 5 grams of sugar per serving, or make your own by toasting oats with cinnamon and a tiny drizzle of real honey. Food number 3, bottled smoothies and juices. This is one of the hardest ones for people to accept because it feels so obviously healthy. It's cold-pressed, it's green, it costs $8. Surely it must be good for you. Here's what happens when you juice fruit. You remove the fiber, and fiber is what slows the absorption of sugar into your bloodstream. Without it, the natural sugar in the fruit hits your bloodstream almost as fast as a can of soda. A single bottle of a popular green, cold-pressed juice can contain as much as 50 grams of sugar. And because it's liquid, it doesn't make you feel full, so you absorb all of that sugar and your body has no fiber buffer to slow it down. Eat your fruit, don't drink it. If you want a smoothie, blend whole fruit, don't juice it, so the fiber stays intact. Add protein and fat to blunt the sugar spike further. Food number 4, plant-based milks. Almond milk, oat milk, soy milk, for millions of people, these have replaced dairy entirely. And the plain, unsweetened versions are absolutely fine. The problem is the word original. In the plant-based milk world, original doesn't mean plain, it means sweetened. Silk Oat Milk Original has 7 grams of added sugar per cup. If you're pouring that into your coffee twice a day and having it with cereal, you've already consumed more than your recommended daily sugar allowance before 9 a.m. from something you thought was a health choice. Always buy unsweetened. The label should say unsweetened explicitly. Original almost always means sweetened. Check the added sugars line, it should read 0. Food number 5, breakfast cereals, including the whole grain ones. The cereal industry has a long, well-documented history of lobbying to keep whole grain on the front of boxes that are essentially dessert. Research has found that manufacturers use multiple types of sugar in one product specifically so that no single sugar appears near the top of the ingredient list. Corn syrup might be at position 3, honey at position 5, malt syrup at position 7. None of them individually look alarming. Combined, you're eating a sugar delivery vehicle wrapped in oats. Brands commonly mask sugar under names like high fructose corn syrup, maltose, dextrose, fructose, malt syrup, and fruit juice concentrate. If you see 3 or more of these in one cereal, no matter how many whole grains are in it, that cereal is primarily a sugar product. Steel-cut oats, eggs, or plain Greek yogurt with berries are genuinely low-sugar breakfasts. If you must have cereal, look for less than 5 grams of sugar per serving, and check that whole grain is the first ingredient. Food number 6, protein bars and healthy snack bars. Here it is, the one I mentioned at the start, the one I've watched people's faces fall over when I show them. Protein bars, energy bars, wellness bars, the $3.50 bars in the checkout line at Whole Foods that you grab because it's better than a bag of chips. Many of the most popular protein bars on the market contain between 20 and 30 grams of sugar. That's the same as a Snickers bar. The difference is that a Snickers is honest about what it is. The protein bar has a picture of an athlete on it and the word clean somewhere on the packaging. The rule for protein bars is simple. The grams of protein should always be higher than the grams of sugar. If the bar has 10 grams of protein and 22 grams of sugar, that is a candy bar. It does not matter what it says on the front. Look for bars with at least 15 grams of protein and under 8 grams of sugar. Or skip the bar entirely and eat a handful of nuts and a hard-boiled egg. More protein, 0 added sugar, costs pennies. Food number 7, pasta sauces and salad dressings. This one catches people completely off guard because these foods aren't sweet, they're savory. So why is there sugar in them? Because sugar is cheap. It suppresses bitterness, it extends shelf life, and crucially, it makes food mildly addictive. Pasta sauce, salad dressing, ketchup, barbecue sauce, even canned soups. These are sugar vehicles disguised as savory foods. A half cup of a popular marinara sauce can contain 10 to 12 grams of added sugar. A tablespoon of some bottled salad dressings contains 5 grams. A tablespoon. Make your own tomato sauce. Canned tomatoes, garlic, olive oil, basil. Ready in 20 minutes. 0 added sugar. Or check labels and look for pasta sauces with under 4 grams of sugar per serving. Food number 8. Flavored instant oatmeal. Plain oats are one of the best foods you can eat. Slow-releasing carbohydrates, high in beta-glucan fiber, which actually lowers LDL cholesterol, keeps you full for hours. Genuinely excellent. But the flavored instant sachets, the maple and brown sugar, the apple and cinnamon, the peaches and cream, transform that excellent food into a sugar delivery system. A single sachet can contain 15 grams of added sugar. You're essentially eating dessert with a side of oats and calling it a health breakfast. Buy plain rolled oats or steel-cut oats. They take 5 to 10 minutes. Add cinnamon, a handful of berries, or half a banana for natural sweetness. You get all the benefit with none of the added sugar. Food number 9. Low-fat dressings and light condiments. This last one exposes something the food industry has been doing for 40 years. When you remove fat from a food product, the food tastes terrible. Fat carries flavor, so manufacturers have 2 options. They can add salt or they can add sugar. Most of the time, they add both. Low-fat salad dressing, light mayonnaise, reduced-fat peanut butter. Every single one of these has added sugar that the full-fat version does not. The full-fat versions are often nutritionally superior because they don't need the sugar, and the fat actually helps your body absorb the fat-soluble vitamins in the vegetables you're eating them with. The low-fat food trend was started in the 1970s based on research that has since been thoroughly discredited. And yet the products are still on the shelves, still labeled light, still being bought by people who are trying to do the right thing. Use full-fat versions in moderate amounts, or make a simple dressing with extra virgin olive oil, lemon juice, and mustard. It takes 60 seconds and has 0 added sugar. Now, I promised you a system for reading any label in under 10 seconds. Here it is. Step 1. Ignore the front of the packet entirely. Everything on the front is marketing. Turn it over. Step 2. Find the added sugars line on the nutrition label. Not total sugars, added sugars specifically. The WHO recommends no more than 25 grams per day total. If one product contains more than 8 to 10 grams per serving, it is a significant sugar source. Step 3. Scan the ingredient list. Ingredients are listed by weight, most abundant first. If any form of sugar appears in the first 3 ingredients, this is primarily a sugar product, regardless of what the front says. And here are the 5 disguise names being used most aggressively right now. Write these down. Number 1, fruit juice concentrate. Number 2, agave nectar or agave syrup. Number 3, brown rice syrup. Number 4, erythritol and other sugar alcohols. Number 5, dextrose or maltodextrin. If you see any of these near the top of an ingredient list, understand that your body processes most of them the same way it processes table sugar, with an insulin spike, a crash, and all the downstream inflammation that follows. Let me leave you with this. The 9 foods we covered today are all marketed as healthy. Some of them genuinely can be healthy in their unsweetened, unprocessed versions. The problem isn't oats or yogurt or plant milk. The problem is what the food industry has done to those foods, and the fact that they've spent decades making it as hard as possible for you to figure it out. You now have the tools to figure it out, in 10 seconds on any label in any supermarket. Before you go, did any of these 9 foods surprise you? Is there one you've been eating thinking it was healthy? Drop it in the comments. I read every single one, and your comment might end up in a future video. And if this video was useful, and I mean genuinely useful, the kind of thing you want your family to know, hit that like button. It takes 1 second, and it tells YouTube to show this to more people who need to hear it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Every week, I put out research-backed videos on exactly this kind of thing. The stuff that's hiding in plain sight, the stuff they don't put on the front of the packet. See you in the next video.